Hello everyone, this is Clay and welcome to DigiFactor's tutorial. Today's tutorial is not just going to be one short little tutorial. It's going to be actually a series of tutorials of one project that we're going to work on. So I'm not going to spend too much time on each tutorial, just make a few pieces here and there, but this is going to be the start of it. So I think today we're going to make a project for let's say an elementary school or a middle school. Say you want to make a classroom scene. Now I know we already have it in the sci-fi sets and stuff that Digimania added to Muvizu before they went into administration, but we're going to do a regular classroom, Anyway, we're gonna be making all different things here. We're gonna make anything from the walls, floors, windows. We're gonna make some school desk for the children to sit in, and the desk for the teacher. We're gonna make the chalkboard. We're gonna make books, bookshelves, posters, book racks, so forth. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the floor. We're going to start off with the floor, and we're going to go ahead and use a pre-made backdrop in Muvizu. We're not going to make a model for the floor. We're just going to use a pre-made backdrop. So let's first thing we need to do is make our textures for our floor, and we're going to make a simple tile texture. And now you can use any editing software of your choice, like Photoshop or GIMP or so forth, but I'm going to use something that is a great alternative to those. It's free, it has a easy learning curve, and it is called Paintnet. So let me bring Paintnet up. Okay, like that. Now once you open it up, you're presented with a work area already, and we're going to keep that work area. Alright? And what we're going to do is we're going to go to our toolbar right here. This is our floating toolbar. And this right here is our layers window, and then right here we have our color wheel, our color window. Now if none of these are showing up like that, if you go over here at the top right hand corner, you'll see them right here. You can just click on it and then it'll bring up the color, and then you'll have your windows, layers window, and then click on the hammer and that brings them back. That brings everything back up. Okay, so now we're going to clear this this work area. We're going to clear it. We're going to make it, give it a transparent background. So let's click on our magic wand and just click anywhere like that. And then at the top right left, we're going to click on the scissors, the cut tool, and then we'll cut out that background. Okay, now let's choose a color. Now we're going to make a tile, and we want the tile to be one solid color in the edges. We don't want black or nothing like that. So we're going to go to, we're going to go ahead and use a color that we're going to make the tile with. So let's make a color, and I'm going to make, let's see, we'll give it that color right there. Okay, and then let's go to our tool window here, and we'll click shapes. Okay, when you click on shapes, actually when you click on any of these tools, all of its properties will show up on the top left right here. This is all of its properties. Okay, so we got it selected on shapes, And if you go right here, shape types, and you click on it, and a little drop down window will come up, and you'll have different shapes to choose from. And then once you do that, you can select how you want it to go. If you just want an outline of the shape, which you draw a shape outline, or if you want to draw the shape when it's already filled in with one solid color, or you can do the outline and filled in with a solid color. But for right now, we're just going to draw a shape with outline. Well, no, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and go with shape fill in. All you have to do is just click on it. You can click on it like 3 times, and it'll scroll you through all that options there. So we're going to keep it on filled, and we're going to draw a circle. Not a circle, I'm sorry. We're going to draw. I woke up. I haven't had my coffee yet. The coffee's brewing. So, okay, we're going to draw our square. Like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do a little trim on it. And we're going to go to our color wheel. And we're going to keep that color, but we're going to make it a little darker. So click on more. And just click on more, and it'll bring up more options here. So we're going to make that color a little darker. So let's kind of make it a little darker, and you can see the preview window right here, this little thumbnail. Alright, that's the color we want. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to keep it on our rectangle field. And we're going to start just like this on the corner, and then we're going to whoops, my bad. I'm not going to start over. Anytime I make a mistake, or if I forget, or if I get ahead of myself, I'm going to correct it. I'm not going to start this over. Just as a tutorial, and like me, we all need to fix our mistakes. So in our shape tool, we're going to go back right here, and we're going to click it until it's just the outline. Okay, now let's go back. My computer is acting crazy. I think I'm having an issue with the USB card. So, alright, now we'll just draw an inside square like that. Okay, and then we're going to click on our paint bucket, and then we're going to fill that in. And not too much. So go to the tolerance right here, and let's lower the tolerance to where like that. Okay? Alright. Now we're going to click on our shape tool. Okay? And we're going to go back to fill in like that. And then we're going to I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave that alone. What we're going to do is we're going to select our line curve. Okay, and then we're going to brighten up that color. We're going to brighten it up twice as more, and then we're going to draw a line right here. Now that line isn't quite thick enough, so we're going to go to the brush width, and we're going to select it on 6 like that. Now let's add a little bit more of a color to that, make it more of a light color. Okay, alright, I think that would work. Now keeping the width set at 6. Okay, now go back to our shapes tool, and let's click on to where it's just the outline. Okay, now let's draw a square right in the center of that. Oops, okay, I forgot something. Okay, let's click on the color picker and click on that dark color we made. Now go back to our shape tool. Now let's draw that square right in the middle of that. Okay. Now we can just line it up. I'm going to put it right in the middle to where it looks like it's right in the middle. Like that. That's good. Now, what I'm going to do is we're here on the toolbar or tool window. We're going to select our rectangle select. Shortcut is the S key. So then we're going to select it by drawing a square around it. And then we're going to select our move select pixel. Shortcut is the M key. And then we're going to move it right into the corner like this. Like so. Next thing we're going to do is copy and paste. And we're going to do this several times. Copy and paste. We don't want to make it too thin. Now you see what happens if I overlap it? Well, it's not letting me make that thin line thinner in between them. What we can do is we could go ahead and cut that and go to our layers window, and we can add a layer like that, and then we can paste that back in. And now we can make that a little thinner. See? See what I mean? Now you can overlap it. So let's make that like that. Okay, now let's copy and paste. Copy, and we'll go back to the bottom. And we'll paste that one back in there. Like so. Like that. Go back to the top. Paste. Oops. Okay, like that. Now, what we're going to do is, we're going to select them all. Well, before we do that, we got to go to the image tab on the top. Click on it, go down to flatten. That will flatten all the layers to one layer. Now, we're going to click on our select tool, and we're going to select them all. And then grab our select move. Grab it not here, but right here. We're going to grab it by left click, and we're going to shrink it down a little bit to where we can have room for another tile like that. Okay. Now let's paste. There we go. Like that. Again, I forgot to make that layer, so I'm going to undo that. Let's add that layer. Now paste. And I'm going to shrink it to size. And we'll do it not too much. Now, okay, now notice that I got it too close here. So let's select our select tool and let's see if we can bring that over just a little bit. Whoops, wrong one. But let me make it right about there. Let's go to our image tab at the top and flatten that again. And now let's select this right in between there. Now let's move that. There we go. About like that. Okay, now image tab and then flatten again. Okay, it's already flat. Alright, now grab our select tool again, and now let's select all of those. Okay, and we're going to copy, layer, paste. And we're going to bring it down. Make another row. I don't want it too thick on the space. We don't want it too far apart. Okay, and back to the bottom layer, paste, and kind of lined up. And now let's go back to the top layer and we'll paste. And we have just enough room for that last one. And we'll keep it like that. Now click on the image tab and then flatten them all. Let's grab our select tool again. And let's select all of those. Now our move tool, and this time we're going to grab at the corner and we're going to left click and we're going to shrink it down. Like so, just enough room to where we can add maybe another one next to it, and then two of them on the bottom. So copy, add a layer, paste. We may have to shrink it down a little. So let me undo that. Let's go back to the bottom. Select our select tool. Okay, and then the move tool, and let's shrink it down to about like that. Okay, and now let's go back to the top, select tool, and then select these. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to repaste those again. So I'll cut those. Go back to the bottom and our select tool, and then select those again. That. Copy it, then go back to our other layer and then paste. Move it. It's about like that. Now you may have to shrink it a little bit right there. And then move it. It's a little bit like so. Okay, now flatten those. Now, again, select our select tool. Now let's select all of those. Copy, add a layer, and then paste. Now let's drag those down to the bottom. So again, we may have to shrink. Alright. Okay. That's good enough. Now we got our tile layout. Now let's add a color in between the gaps. Okay? So, first we need to do is go to image and flatten that into one texture. Now let's add a new layer. Click on the arrow pointing down and move that layer down to the bottom. Okay? Deselect. Now let's go to our color and let's select, make that color a little bit darker, I'm sorry. Let's give it another different color, right about in between there. Okay, Now click on our paint bucket with our bottom layer selected. Just click anywhere to fill it in, like that. Okay. Now image and flat. Okay, now we have our tiles texture. Now let's save that as PNG. Okay, I'll go to File and Save As PNG. Let's create a folder for our tutorial. We'll make a new folder and I'll name it Tutorial. Okay, now I'll click on that and then we'll save this texture as floor. Okay, now click OK. Now we got that made. Let's minimize and let's go to Muvizu. Now let's select a scene. Okay, and I'm gonna select the crystal clear. The reason why I like that is it's got perfect lighting, great shading, and it's wonderful. So we're going to click on that one and we're going to open that one up. I'm sorry, I seriously have to get a new USB card. Something keeps connecting and reconnecting again, so I want to move that directional light up. Now I'm going to remove that chair. I'm going to keep the character. Now, the reason why I'm going to keep the character because I'm going to use him to size everything up with. So I'm going to move him out of the way. And depending on which way the shadow is pointing, which I want the shadow to go, the light to go into the windows of the classrooms, and I want shadows showing that way, that direction of this character. So we're going to go right about here. Now let's create our floor. Or like I said at the beginning of the tutorial, we're going to create a backdrop. And I'm going to select the ground plate. Bring the ground plate in, close that. And then I'm going to right click and go to Edit. And I'm going to its properties. Click on the image thumbnail. Okay, and now let's import that texture that we made, which is right here. Click on it. Whoops. And then open it up. Okay. Now let's take a look at that floor texture. Okay, that looks good. Now let's lock that. Now let's copy that. And paste. We'll bring it a little closer like that. Make sure we got it all even. Bring it over, line it up. So, like that. Now, lock it. Now the classroom is going to be sort of rectangled. Okay. And we're not going to make it that big. So, okay. Now, I don't know if y'all ever encounter this problem. Because anytime you lay other objects on it and then you move them around, or if you shrink them or do any kind of editing to them while they're on there, sometimes or a lot of the times this will mess up, it will move around, go into the ground or whatever. Well, to prevent that from happening, you have to turn off its collision. And the only way you can turn off its collision, well, not collision, but its physics. The only way you can turn off its physics is putting it into animation mode, which is keyframe. So right click on each floor, okay, and then go to Direct, Movement. Now let's switch it to Prepare and then select the keyframe. Go back to Direct. Now in your timeline, we want to put, whenever we're constructing or making our sets and we're using this timeline, Me, I use it to put objects together like walls and stuff, to where there's no gaps in between it. I use it like a glue. So, and what that does is it'll actually uh, turn off the fixes where we can put two objects together. So what we want to do at the beginning of this timeline, we're going to move the time bar out of our way, right ahead of it, and we're going to keep the slider right there in the beginning. You just keep it right there for everything you do for now, because after you get everything together, once you start animating your scene, you'll do it in this area, or how long you're going to make it. Okay, and that way you won't mess nothing up. So let's add our keyframe at the beginning of it, like so. Now let's click on this floor and do the same thing. So now when you lay things on there and you got to edit something, this won't mess up. It will stay in place. Okay. Now let's add another floor right behind all those. Now we may not make the classroom that big, so I'm just using it for giving myself room. We'll do another one. Make sure we got it all lined up. Okay. Let's unlock that. No, not lock it yet. We'll bring that in a little bit more. Like that. Now lock it. Now we'll put it in animation. There we go. We're set to go. Tiles are perfect. Now we're set. Like I said, we're set to go. Okay. Now, when we make the classroom, we're only going to probably go like halfway. So we're just going to basically put everything right here, and the walls and all that right there. This is just for extra. Now, I don't really like leaving a good chance of catching the ground in the video. So, all right. The next thing to do is we're going to create our center wall, and then we're going to make our two windows. And then after we make the center wall and the two windows, I'll probably stop this first part here and then continue with the next part later time today. Okay, so now let's go ahead and minimize Muvizu and bring back up Windows.net. Now grab our select tool and let's select all of that and cut it and get it out of our way, because we're going to still use this window, this work area. Okay, now let's choose, let's see what color we're going to make the wall. And we're going to do wallpaper. The wall is going to have wallpaper at the top, and then we're going to have wood trim at the bottom. So let's see. We'll do, for the top, we'll do like maybe this color, and we'll make it a little bit lighter. Okay, and let's add a little bit of pink to that and brighten it up a little bit like that. Okay, now let's say, do I want to do select our shape tool? Do I want to do fill in or do I want to do outline? I'm going to keep it on outline. Okay, and I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle. I'll make it kind of big. I'll keep it like that. Okay, now we're going to, let's see, I'm going to draw a line here, okay? I'll draw a line right here, and let's see, let's pick our line curve tool, and let's thin our line, our width, brush width, and we'll put it on 2. And then, let's see, we're going to make that color, I want to make that color darker. Like that. Now let's draw a line right here. We're going to draw a vertical line. I don't want to make it too far apart. And then we'll put it right and keep it straight. Okay. I like that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our select tool and we're going to select that right about halfway. Okay. About halfway. We're going to copy and paste. Now with our select pixel move tool, we're going to grab right in the middle, left click and grab it, and we're going to pull it back this way. And right even with that one. Okay. Now let me explain what we're doing here. This wall, I'm making this as a template and its textures, okay? And the line will tell me where to bend it. To bend it to make this a corner and this a corner. Okay, so you'll see that in Milkshake. So now let's add a line right here, and this line is going to be brown. So let me select a brown color. Yeah, and then we'll keep it. I'll tell you what, we'll keep it that color. All right, now let me grab the line curve tool and let's make the thickness at 3. And I don't want the trim to be that tall, so we'll put it right there and we'll draw a line all the way across like that. Okay, now grab our paint bucket and we'll fill in this line here like that. Now this will be our wallpaper and this will be our wood trim. Okay? Alright. Now, let's go back to our color for the wallpaper. Pick our color picker, and then we'll pick that color again. We're back at there. Paint bucket, and then we'll paint that one, fill that one in, and then we'll fill these two in. Like that. Okay. Now, we're going to make our wallpaper design. Let's add a layer, and that layer is what we're going to use to create our wallpaper design. Okay. Now let's choose. See what I want to do. I tell you what. Let's choose a shape tool, and let's go and select a good shape. What would be a good shape for our wallpaper? Okay, we'll do triangles, and then we'll click on fill mode. Okay, and then we'll choose a like red color or a maroon color, and we'll kind of like lighten it up a little bit, about like that. And we'll kind of make it, and there we go. Okay, now let's draw our first design like that. Okay. Now we'll make another one under that. I'll tell you what we can do is we can select our select tool, and we can select that, and then we can copy it, paste it, That way we can keep it the same size. Don't worry about making a layer for it because we're going to keep them far apart like that. Copy, paste. Okay. Keep copy and paste until you get all the way down. Up there. And if you want to cheat a little bit, instead of spending all that time, we can select these three, and we can copy and paste. I don't know if that'll be enough room, which it isn't, so undo, and then undo again. Now let's just select these two. Copy and paste. Let's see if that works. Okay, that'll work. Now again, select our select tool and let's select all of those. Now we're going to copy those and paste all the way back this way. So copy, paste, that, copy, paste, that, paste, copy and paste, now let's select all of those. Copy and paste and see if that will be just enough. We may need maybe one more line, so we'll select these and we'll copy and paste that, move it over. And what we'll do is we'll select tool and we'll get like in the middle here, and then we'll grab our move tool and we'll kind of like stretch it out like so. Do the same thing for this one. We'll kind of stretch it out like that. Okay. Now we're going to draw some, we got the sidewalls, don't we? So let's select tool and we'll copy 3 of them, 3 rows. So we'll do 3 rows like that. I'll copy and paste. And we'll move that row right here. Okay, and then we'll copy and paste and do the other side. Okay. Like so. Now, we're going to draw some lines in between. Okay, so select our line curve tool, and we'll keep the line at 3, and we'll start from the top and work our way onto the bottom. Just draw a line in between all the diamonds. So, and we'll leave that one alone. We don't do it there. So we'll just keep drawing lines. You just keep drawing the lines until you get them all of them filled in. Okay. Whoops. Undo that. I accidentally rotated it. Yes, you can also rotate. So. Okay, now the top portion of the wall is done. Now we need to do the wall trim. And what I'm going to do is we're going to select our color by getting our color picker. And we're going to click on that same color. Now let's fill it in with our paint bucket. Whoops, we got to go back down to the bottom. Alright, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and flatten these two layers back into one layer. So go to Image tab and push the flat button. Okay, now with our color, color picker, we're going to select our color again. That. Now go back to our paint bucket. And let's fill that in. Okay. Now, let's see. We're going to have, here at the top, we're going to have a shadow because when I start making this in milk shape, I'm going to put a trim board on the top. So I want to kind of like you do a shadow and then the wood trims. And the wood trim will make it more like wood. So with that color, we're going to adjust it to where it's a little brighter. Whoop, sorry, undo that. So anytime you still got your color selected after filling it in, and you go back and change the color, that will change the color. So click anywhere on the outside of the work area. That will deselect it. Okay, now let's brighten up that brown color. Yeah. Now with our line curve tool select. Okay, we're going to draw. We'll fill this. I'll tell you what. Instead of doing the light color first, let's do the dark color first. So let's kind of darken that brown up a little bit. Okay, now let's draw our lines. We got to draw our lines indicating our individual boards of the wood. Board tiles. Okay. All right. Now let's lighten it up a little bit more. Like that. Now let's create our board tiles. Okay. Well, that's a little bit still the same color. Okay. Let's undo that. Now see, I did a boo-boo. Okay. And like I said, I'm not going to start over just because I did a boo-boo. I'm going to correct it. Alright, what we're going to do is, see this right here. Now, since I'm using that color to make the boards, this is going to confuse me to when I start putting the model together. So I need to go ahead and turn that back into black. So I'm going to click on that and click it back on black. And we'll use the tolerant. I don't want to make it too thick. Okay, that'll work. Now, I see I did that over there too, so I need to go back and put that black in. That's going to show me where to make the bend. Alright, now let's go back to our color picker and grab our color again, and now let's make that darker. Like that. Now let's make our lines like we want. We'll do one here. We'll do 3 of them right here. Let's move them closer. I'll do another one right there. Okay. And let's do 3 there. Don't worry about getting out of line, because when you start adding the textures, you can adjust the texture the way you want it, or you won't see all them overlapping lines. So, alright, now we got that done. Now let's go and do the center. Okay, let's grab our select tool and let's select all those we just did. Copy and paste. Let's move it over like that, and then we'll draw one more. Whoops. We'll draw one more right here. Okay, now we're going to add wood grain. We're going to create a wood grain to make it look more like wood. So let's brighten up that same color, like that. And let's draw a line right here. And this is our light color. So this was the color I was going to start with before, but then I realized, no, I'm going ahead of myself. Don't do that yet. So I'll do it like that. And do another one. And just keep doing that all the way down. Get it right. I'll move it over like that. Okay. Just get it right. That's good enough. If it's not where you want it, you can always move it over. Okay, now let's thin that line up. Go to our brush width at the top, and let's go to 1. Now let's draw some lines in here. Now we're kind of like move them around, distort them a little bit. Now this is your wood grain. So that, I'll do one here. I'll do one like this, and we'll bring this one down. And this, and we'll kind of like distort it a little bit. Bring it over. I'll move this. Let's do it like over here, and then move this one there. It's kind of like that. That'll work. And then let's do this. Grab that. And that. Okay. And then we'll do some squiggly lines here. Just keep adding your design, making your designs. We'll make this a little like round. It'll be the same thing. This one. I'll make this and go all the way down. I'll do some squiggly lines here. That'll work. Got half of it done. Just keep making your wood designs all the way down. And if you want, you can just copy and paste some of the ones you just did. There's more shortcuts. Make the process quicker. I'll copy that and paste it again. I'll put that one right here. And I'll do this one again. Right there. I'll select this one. That one right there. Okay. Now let's copy and paste that again, and we'll put this one there, and we'll just push it a little bit. Okay, and then we need two more. So let's go ahead and finish those off. So. Okay, now we got the wood grain done. Now, like I was telling you before, we got the wood grain done. Now, like I was telling you before, I'm going to make a shadow going across right here, because when I make the model, I'm going to add a sort of like a board across. Okay, and this is going to be a trim, and it's also going to be used to where I can lay my erasers and stuff with the chalkboard, because we're going to have a chalkboard here in Muvizu. So what I'm going to do is create a layer over that one. Okay, and I'm going to go back to that bottom layer, and then I'm going to click on my, well, I already got that color to select. So go back to the top layer. Alright, now let's darken that layer a little, like that. And let me let's add some opacity alpha, transparent a little bit, like that. Now I'm going to use my select tool, and I'm going to keep it filled in, and I'm going to select the rectangle, and then we're just going to draw a shadow across like that. Okay, there we go. Now you may notice these little gapping lines here where I missed it. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to create another layer above that, and then I am going to go back to the bottom layer. I'm going to select my color picker like that, and then I'm going to go back to that top layer, and then I'm going to draw that rectangle again. This. No, Clay, what did you do? You messed it up. No, don't worry, I didn't mess it up. And we'll bring that one all the way down. Now see that fixed the gaps and stuff. So that's how you fix that. Now let's trim that up at the bottom. Get our select tool. And then let's click on the middle one. And then we'll cut those off. There, now it's all nice and clean. Now let's go to Image tab and flatten all those layers. Now we only have one layer again. Alright, and that is our texture and our template for our wall. So let's save that as a PNG. We'll name it Center Wall. Click OK. Alright, now let's go and go into Milkshake 3D. I already have it opened up. And this right here is our preview window. You'll see everything being developed right here. And this is our work areas. This is the side view, front view, and top view. Alright, and we're going to work from the side. Yeah, side view. Yeah, I think this is side view. Sometimes I forget. We're going to work from the side view. Now what we're going to do is right click in that area, and we're going to go down, choose background image. Now let's navigate to that floor texture that we just done. Okay, and this is, all these right here is from another one I did. I was practicing. So alright, so let's go to our tutorial and select our wall. Okay, yeah, and there we go. Now we're going to trace this wall with little dots called vertexes. Alright, over here at the right is our hierarchy, and right now we're on Models tab, and these are all the tools that we're going to use to make our models with. This tab right here is our Groups tab. This is a list of everything that we have made, every piece of the model that we have made. Okay, and then this is our Materials tab. You create a material, it'll display right here. This is the material preview, and we have no materials right now. And this is a joint. We're not going to worry about that because we're not doing any animation with Milkshake. So let's go back to Models tab. Now let's click on the vertex. Vertex are the little dots that you connect together, and it creates triangles, and the triangles create the faces. So now we're going to start at this corner here. Okay, that's that. Add one here. I'm going to add a vertex at all four corners. Now let's add one here at this line, and one at the top, one there, and one there. Now we're going to create our wall. So let's click on face and we'll start connecting all the dots together. That. You have to do it in triangles. So, okay, let's see. And there it is. It starts previewing what we're doing. Start from the bottom like I did the first one. And keep it in this. Keep it in that way. So, okay, now we got that left part of it done. So now let's create the center part. And let's do it again. Create the other half of that center part. And now let's do the right side. You left click on the mouse button. Whoops, sorry. Sometimes my big fat finger is getting in the way. Alright. Now, we got that done. We're going to go to our groups tab. And you see we already have a group called triangles. So it's really not a group. It's just triangles. We're going to double click that and select it all. And now we're going to click on the regroup button and make a group out of it. Now it's a group. Okay. Now over here on the side, our front view, we're going to duplicate that. Now, I tell you what, we're not going to do it like that. Okay, we're not going to do it like that. Let's go to the top view. I'll tell you what, a different thing. Sort of kind of like jumping the gun on myself again. We need to add the texture to this. So let's go to the materials tab. Okay, and create new. Let's create a new material. Alright, and there's no material on it. No textures. So let's click on this one and then navigate to where we got our text. And we'll click on it. There we go. Now, with that group selected, it has to be selected, not selected. Then go to our group, material and double click with the left mouse button. And as you can see, it's invisible. Alright, now we don't want that. So let's go over here where it says default, bring that down and click on ignore alpha. There we go. Now, let's fix our textures to where we can see it. So go to the Windows tab at the top left, click on it and go to Textures Coordinator Editor. Click on that. Now, we already, and for the group to show up on here, that group that we made, it's got to be selected, which it is. You see it's highlighted red, so it is selected. And that is group 0. Only thing we need to do is remap button. So that's not right. So let's go to the left, remap, and there it is. Okay. Now let's scale it to fit. And then click on the move and move it around. You're going to move and scale, move and scale. And if it's not right, all you have to do is just do select, and then select the vertexes, 1 or 2 at a time, and then just move it where it needs to go. Okay, and that one looks perfect, so I don't think we need to touch that one. Okay, you know, actually we don't need to touch that one either. I think these over here need to be touched. Move that over. Okay, and then we'll move these two. Bring that down because we don't want no white showing up on our, like that. Now let's see what that looks like. And there we go. Now we have our textures on there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold. We're going to fold this and make it into a three-dimensional wall that comes out a little bit from the other walls. So we're going to go to our select tool, keep it on vertex tab, and we're going to go to the top view, which is the left, bottom left one, and we're going to select these two vertexes. Okay, and then we're going to click on our rotate button, and we're going to rotate it to where it's straight. Okay, got to get it straight like that. And then we're going to select the other one at the bottom. Then go back to rotate, and let's rotate that upward. I may be doing it in the wrong direction, so yeah, I did it in the wrong direction. Okay, so let's undo. Okay, and let's rotate it to this direction. Okay, now let's select the bottom and do the same thing. Just got to get it straight. Now let's select this vertex and click on move. Let's move it to where we can straighten it out. Right there. Okay, and there we are. There's our wall. Let's select that group, select the wall, and let's move it up. Okay. Now, right-click on the work area and choose background image, and then let's clear that out, and OK. Get rid of that out of the way so we don't get confused. All right. We're going to make the back wall. Okay, we're going to make the back wall, and the back wall is just going to be a solid color. It's not going to have no wallpaper. Excuse me. So let's move this down. Anytime you need to move your work area around, just hold down your control button and left click on your mouse so you can move that around like that. Okay. Alright. Now let's make our back wall. So click the select button, click anywhere on your work area, deselect that. Now select the plane button and let's create a plane behind that wall, which goes from this corner, and then we'll left click the mouse button and then we'll drag a square to each vertex corners. That. Okay, let's move it around. Okay, now go to either the top or the front view, don't matter. We'll do it the top view, and then we'll click on our move button, and let's move it to where we connect those vertexes together. Okay. And let's adjust this one. Move it up. That, and then let's select this vertex. There we go. Let's see. Now what we can do is we can select those two vertexes right here and select the scale button. Scale it to where you get those two together. Like so. Do that bottom one. There we go. Let's straighten that up. Let's select this vertex. And just straighten that up a little bit. Okay, we're good. Now let's select that plane, okay, and then let's go to materials, double click the material. Now we're going to go to the Windows Texture Coordinator, select our plane, regroup it, and let's just scale it real thin. Okay, we'll scale it real thin like so. Real thin. Small. Click on the move and put it anywhere where it just has the light color. See? There we go. This is the back side of the wall. Okay? Alright. Now that we have our wall the way we want it, let's fix that texture, and let's select our, you'll have to go back into Paintnet and for our texture, and then select the color picker, and let's select that dark brown color again, like that. Now our fill tool. Okay. Before I do that, let's undo to separate our layers again, and then we'll go to the top right here and we'll fill that in. I like that. Now we can go back to image and flatten that again, and then let's save it. Now go back to Milkshake 3D, go into our materials, and let's re-import that material. And there we go, we fixed that. Okay, now we're going to do the top and bottom. Okay, now let's zoom out. Now let's make a plane. Go back to our models tab, select our plane. Now let's drag a plane from corner to corner. Like so. Okay. Now if you notice that the plane is at the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy it first, duplicate it, click on move. We'll move that one up to the top. Like so. Okay, and you'll see it at the top. Now we need to do the bottom. Unselect the duplicate and then select that plane. Keep that plane selected, as you can see right here. Okay, and then let's go to the face tab at the top and then reverse vertex order. That'll reverse the face to the other side. Okay. Now let's select our vertexes in the corners. Scale each one to where they're tightly fit together. Okay. Tightly fit them together. Whoops, I didn't move. Undo move. Okay, and then we'll scale it. Select and scale. Now let's go to the bottom. Let's see. Okay, that looks good. Now, select your select tab, click anywhere in the work area to deselect that. Now, let's see, a top plane or the bottom plane. We're going to give that the wood color. So go to materials and double click. And let's go back to our wood texture coordinator. Select the plane 2. And let's scale that real thin, like real small. And then let's move it into a solid wood color, which is right there. Okay, let's see. There we go. And now let's go to the bottom one. Duplicate, which is the top. We'll go to the top one, I'm sorry. And then we'll select the material again. Again, back to the texture editor. Now we'll select that duplicate. Scale it and do the same thing. Like that. Whoops, I'm sorry. That's the wall top. It goes right there. So now let's see. Now, like I said, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to correct it right there. So I'm not going to hide it right there. So that looks good. Okay, now we're going to create our trims, our trim boards. Okay, and you know this is the shadow, so of that. So we're going to do that. Okay, the first thing we need to do is, before we do that, we need to go to Edit and then Select All, and then go to our Groups tab, and let's make all of these right here one group, like so. Okay, deselect it. Okay, now let's add our trims. So we'll go to our Models tab and we're going to select Box. Okay, and then we're going to draw a box from one side to the other. Okay, like so. Okay, then we're going to kind of like scale it. We don't want it too thick. Let's see. I think that'll work. And then what we're going to do is go to Select. And we're going to select these vertices at the end. And we're going to move it to where it is close enough. Okay. On this back part, we're not going to do that. We're just going to... I don't know if that's... Okay, this is the side view, so... Okay. Now let's go to the top view. And I got to determine which one is the front and the back. Let's see. Okay, that's the back. Let me make sure. That's the back. And the back, we just want it to touch right on the very end, like that. Okay, let's see. Let's move it a little bit. There we go, like that. Now let's go to the front. Now let's see how that looks. Okay, a little bit more. I think that looks good. Now let's zoom in a little bit. Now let's select these sides here. Let's kind of thin them out a little bit. Let's see. Go over here at the top, do this one. Whoops, I deselected it, I guess. And move that one. I did it again. Okay, hold on a second. Now select. Let's move it. Let me see that. I think that looks good. Okay, now let's select that box and let's kind of move it up. so. Okay. And there we are. Now on that box we're going to, let's see, whoops, let's move it like so. Okay. I'll tell you what, these front rotations, I want to bring them out a little bit because I want it wide enough where I can put erasers on there. So let's widen it up a little bit, like that. I think that's, yeah, that'd be good. Okay, now let's select that box, go to material, and let's just double click to add the material on it. And we're just going to give it a solid color, and it's going to be the solid colored brown. Okay. Remap. Scale it. Okay. I'm going to move it somewhere right there. Now let's see. And there we go. Okay. Now we're going to add a bottom trim right here. And let's keep that box that we just made and let's duplicate that, and then we'll move it down. Okay. And then what we're going to do is, okay, we're going to go to the side view, and then we're going to select these top rotations right here. We're going to move them in, that, then we'll select these bottom ones, and we'll move them in just a little bit, that. Okay, and let's do the same thing for the sides. Okay. I think so. Okay. That looks good. Let's see, make sure we got it. Okay, let's bring this one in a little bit more. Not too much. Let's see. So that looks good. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry about that. That looks good. Now, we need to do the top trim. The top trim, we're going to go, let's see. We'll select that box there, and we're going to duplicate that one as well, again. And then let's move it to the top. Keep it straight. Like that. Now, the top, we're going to give it a different color. We're going to give it the color of the wallpaper. We're going to maybe do it white. So I may just go ahead and add the white to it. So let's select that, and we'll see what that white looks like. Okay. I'm going to move it into the white. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like that. Now let's duplicate that again. We'll bring it above that one. Okay. Let's move it forward a little bit, like that. Let's see. Okay, now let's grab these top vertices like that, and we'll move them forward. Okay. And let's go to the side and do the same thing. See? Yeah, I like that. Okay, and do the other side. Let's see. Now let's bring this back to where it's even to the back of the wall. Okay, that's good. I think the center wall is done. Now let's save this as a milkshake ball. We'll call it. We'll overwrite that one. Center wall. Okay, that's saved because we're going to use it for something later. So, okay, now let's go to Edit and select All, Groups tab, and then group it all together. I'm annoyed. Okay, and then let's give it a name. If you don't give it a name other than group in Muvizu, that's what it's going to be. So we'll name it Center Wall. So that's what will be named in Muvizu. Okay, then we'll click the rename. Now let's import this as a ASE. So go to File, Export, click ASE, and then we got it. It's already navigated to our tutorial folder. Now let's name that Center Wall. Oh, sorry, my son in the background making him something to drink. We'll save that. And then on the ASE exports, don't change anything. Just keep it all the same. Click OK. Now, let's minimize Milkshake and then open up Muvizu again. Now, let's import that wall. Go to Create, Import. Okay, Center Wall. Keep all of these first three options the same. Don't change it. But on facing, we're going to change it from single-sided to double-sided. The reason why is, let's just say like if I left any gaps, and the inside of the model will bleed through, and that inside don't have textures in it, and that will make Muvizu think that that is transparent, and you'll have transparent gaps, and you'll see the environment and stuff like that through it. So we don't want that, so we'll do double-sided and click OK. That double-sided will add textures to the other side on the inside of that wall. And there we go. We got our center wall. And to me, it's almost the perfect size we need. Almost. Let's center that wall up. Size that wall up. I'm sorry. We'll go to Scale. Oh, that's the wrong one. Right click, go to Edit, and then we'll go to Scale. We'll scale it a little bit. Like that. Let's see. I think that's perfect. We did a perfect job on that center wall. Now let's move it to the edge of the floor. Okay. Got to get it lined up to the edge of the floor. Make sure it's perfectly straight. I think that's about right. Yeah, the line is straight and the gap's straight. Let's see on this side. Nope, not quite. Now let's see. Oh well. It looks good. Okay, and then this, we're going to go ahead and put it in animation. Go to right click, go to direct, movement. Okay, and then added a keyframe. Switch to direct and add that keyframe at the beginning. Like that. Now let's lock it. There we go. Okay, this concludes the first part of this tutorial. Part 2, we're going to create the 2 side windows. All right, and we'll get that done. I'll see you in part 2.